this is going to be something about level 2. So if you don't understand, you may ask me at any time, or you can WhatsApp me through WhatsApp group, or also you can also use Google Classroom. Okay, part 2. What you should prepare to start level 2. So this is, I know you have not get that scope, the foundation information yet, but you should by 18th of April, and then you have to continue with level 2. Yeah. Okay, so what you should prepare before you start level 2. Okay, so you know that you must have all the domain statement, you must have all the questions and with the answers. Yeah, if you have interviewed people, you have to transcribe the interview so that you can see what are actually mentioned by your users, what kind of app actually they want for their hobbies. Yeah, okay. All right, so as you can see, yeah, this is the activities, yeah, for level 2, the yellow one. So we have finished, hopefully by this week, yeah, we will finish this one. Okay, so this is the level 2. So the activities are very similar to level 1. So the same thing will happen again, but this time it's going to be, you have to work faster because the information that you have to get is a lot. It's going to be huge. Yeah, so you have to work faster to make sure that you can get the answer very, very quickly. Yeah, before we can start modeling, analyzing and modeling. Yeah, so that one will wait next week. So this week we have to finish this level 2, but meanwhile, while we continue our lesson, you still have to do, yeah, the this kind of learning, because there are parts of the assignment where you have to submit. It will actually require you to submit all the things that you do. Yeah, so there are not specific marks for the process that you're doing right now, the activity, because it's part of the learning. But whenever you have complete the learning, before the assignment, when I ask you to submit, it will be very easy for you to do it because you already done that, and you have just to take things from whatever you have done and submit to the My Guru. So it's these activities are quite tedious, but it's going to contribute a lot to that assignment, yeah, the first assignment. So the question is not up yet. Just wait, I'll put it sometime later. Yeah? Okay, so let's see. So we have to set objective. So last week, for the level 1, we have already set the objective, and we said that we want to create the foundation. So we need that basic information, like we have to create the domain statement, we have to create the context diagram, we have to have the vision and the goals. So we need to know. If you don't know yet, we need to find out what are they, so that you can build the terms, the diagrams and everything. Okay, so hopefully you can finish that by end of this week. Okay, so for this level 2, now we have to widen our views, yeah, our perspective. So now, instead of just the foundation, we have that foundation already. So we have some understanding about what they are all about. Yeah, what is actually a kind of app that we can propose. Yeah, it should not be a huge app. Like I said, it's not supposed to be some commercial app. Yeah, it's just some small app, a personal app for your users to be used for their hobby. All right, so keep that in your mind. I'm giving a small project. Why do you want to create some big project? Yeah, because why I give you just a small project? Yeah, not very challenging. I'll say it's not very challenging. Yeah, it's just because I want to make sure you can finish the whole project by the end of the semester. If I give you something huge, you will not finish with the requirement elicitation until the end of the semester. So we don't want that, right? Okay, so set objective for level 2. So the objective is to obtain user requirements data. So now we are going to focus on what are supposed to be inside the app. The whole features that we should include that. What are the users can do with the app? Yeah, the functions, and also what are the system or the apps can actually do in response to some action or something. So all information need to be acquired. You have to find all the information. And then you also need to know for each features or each function, is there any constraint to do it? Is there anything the user is restricted to do or must not do? Okay, and also is there any quality, like can they access the app 24/7, or can they actually contact the expert in the app? For example, if they have ability to contact with the expert through the app, then how, when the expert will be available? Is it 24/7? You can just ask any question at any time and get the answer right away, or how? So there are the kind of question you have to ask your stakeholders and find others. If you cannot find from the stakeholders, you have to find them from other sources like document and system, to make sure that you have sufficient requirements data before you can proceed to analysis and to modeling especially. Okay? Okay, so set objective, you don't have to do it. Like I said, I already give you objective. That's all the things that you should do. Yeah, to obtain the FBS CQ. Okay, so that is your focus. Don't focus on anything else. Yeah, so try to achieve this objective. Okay, so then you have to identify sources. So now you can add on to your documents or on your existing system, because you already understand with the basic foundation that you have from the level 1. You should by then you know what you are looking for, you know what kind of app are they want. Yeah, so if there are something similar, so you have to get them, yeah, and see what are the function that available inside the app. Because if you can, you have to apply all the function as well. Yeah, and maybe you can put in something extra functions that is going to be very useful and very related. It's just a matter of upgrade from the whatever existing app that we have, yeah, nowadays. So you have to propose something innovated or something, yeah, innovation lah, yeah. So that's why you have to go and find more information from other sources. So you have to find the sources. So list the sources. Okay, all right. And then you have to analyze stakeholders. So if you think that you are going to use the same stakeholders, yeah, okay, so let's say they don't need to be approved by anyone, the app. It's just about the app user and the app. So you don't have to include more stakeholders. So you decide to use the whatever stakeholders that you have. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So you can just set that it will follow the same stakeholders listed in level 1, for example. Okay. But if in any way you find out that there are another stakeholders needed, yeah, for example, for the fertilizer, they have to have an expert. So expert will be one of the users well in the app, because they want to reply the question, for example, right? So you have to add the new stakeholders, all right? So it depends on the app, yeah, that you want to do. Okay, and then we have to elicit. So when you want to elicit, before you elicit, you have to plan the question and everything. So here is the biggest differences between level 1 and level 2, because they have different objectives. Yeah, so now it's going to be huge, because you have to cover all the 5 items, or not just item, it's all 5 category, yeah, of requirements data, FBSCQ. Yeah, you have to find out all of them. So if you proposing 5 functions, yeah, you have to find all 5 related categories to that each of the functions. So you have 5, it's going to be 5 times 5. So you have lots of questions there, yeah, to be asked. All right, so that's why I said you have to work faster. But because you have experience from level 1, you should know the step by now, the step by step by now. Yeah, and then macam biasa lah, once you have done all the plan, then you can go and elicit. Okay, so for this time around, it's not going to be, I won't ask you to create all, I mean, you have to work in your group. Yeah, you have to determine by yourself whether you have done that correctly or not. If you have any question, you can ask me. Okay, but I will not check your answer, because you have your chance during level 1. So I suppose that you understand that already. And I believe that you can actually work independently, yeah, with the process. Okay, so It's going to be your challenge, yeah, to complete level 2. I cannot show you one by one for everything. You are a degree student, so I cannot do that, yeah. So you have to work independently in your group, yeah. So you don't work alone. You are the sub leader. You don't work alone. You ask other members to participate in your activity. You are the sub leader. You conduct the activity. It's not that you sub leader, you have to do everything. No. Okay, so make sure everyone understand why you have to do that activities, yeah, and what are the objective in that activity that you have to achieve. Okay, so make sure that to happen, yeah, in your group. Everyone has to be responsible. Okay, if any members do not understand anything, meaning that there's something wrong with the group, yeah. So you're not doing the learning together. All right, the thing why I ask you to do it in group, because group members are very, I mean, the good support when you are learning. Yeah, it's not that you have to depend on me alone. You have to use your group members as well for your learning. Okay, and then you go and analyze it. So everything will be the same, similar, yeah, similar. But now it's going to be more bigger than that. Okay, and for the techniques, I give you freedom. Yeah, there are many different techniques. For the past few years, yeah, when I teach software requirement, I ask you, I urge you to understand many different techniques. But for this semester, I won't urge you to do that. Yeah, depends on you, whichever technique that you like. Yeah, you can go and find in the YouTube. There are lots of techniques discussed. Yeah, it's not just about interview, not just about questionnaire. So there are lots of things that you can do, yeah, for the technique, but it's not something that I urge you to do. Yeah, it depends on you. If you want to do it, then you can have some workshop, you can have use cases, user stories or something. Depend on you. Yeah. I won't care much. If you want to use the same technique, then it's up to you. As long as you get the information. Yeah. So the information, the question must be built because of that, must be based because of that objective. Make sure you can get the information. All right. So that's the challenge for you. Okay, so as you know, these are the things the FBSC use. Sorry, the FBD, FBSQC. D is for structure as well, data or structure. Okay, so these are the kind of, in generally, that is the thing that you have to find out. But of course, when you ask question, you cannot just ask question like that. You cannot ask people like, what you want to do with this software? No, you can't do that, because the application is coming from you. The idea will be coming from you. Okay, so when you have set the foundation, yeah, based on the stakeholders that give the response during level 1, from there is going to be the seed, yeah, to start digging lots of information. So now you have some ideas. You in your group, you can brainstorm and decide what kind of application based on the problem mentioned by your stakeholders and the features that he wants or she wants. So you can actually come up with some ideas. You discuss about that, okay, before you start level 1. Okay, from there, then you find what are examples, any functions that is related that we can use as examples, yeah, so that we can understand more about the functions. So go and find the sources, and from there you can get more information. And then you can, once you have all that, yeah, if you are confident enough, you don't need your stakeholders. But if you're not confident, you can ask them to confirm and get, because they are the one who will be using it. If you just do it by yourself, then it might actually not good, so you not realize about that, kan? So you have to ask your stakeholders, yeah, to make sure that the functions, everything is actually good for the app, yeah, and suitable for the app. Okay, so these are the common sources. I said why you have to do all that is because it's the main sources, yeah. So if you want to focus on stakeholders, you might not find some of the information correctly, yeah. So that's why you have to make use of these 3 sources, yeah. All right, so now I want to show you one of the example, yeah. So this is example where you have complete your level 1 and you want to proceed to level 2. So this is one of the checklists I found being shared on the internet, so I'll show you this, yeah. And I actually have shared with you in the My Guru, eh. Sekejap. Okay, nampak tak? Can you see it? It's a document, Word document. Nampak tak? Okay, nampak? Hello?
Nampak.
Okay. Alright. So this is example, yeah, of checklist. I did not actually ask you to do this, but this is something that you can do on your own, yeah. Because when you have to send in the assignment, this is something similar to this. So if you want to do it, then you can, you can, yeah. It's a good thing to do this. All right. So this is actually an example for customer support service system. Yeah. So let's say there's one person, they are working on the customer support service system, and they actually get some ideas about what it should be. Yeah. So it's just that they want to get more information about it. So you can have this for level 2. Yeah. Right. So for the introduction, it mentioned that these are the information that they get from level 1. Yeah. So it says that before, during, after receive new order or fulfill order, yeah, some maybe there are some shops or something. A customer may require support. So support can range from question about product or service. So it has some definition there. Yeah, what is actually the app that the scope, the domain, the problem domain that the project is about. Yeah. So it's actually telling that it's about customer support service. Yeah. And then this document provide current information in hand from level 1 and for the question to ask for level 2. So there will be questions that they use for level 2 inside this document. So you can use it as reference, but it's not actually related to your hobby application. So you have to create your own question. Yeah, you cannot just take the question from this example. Okay, so each process, so what kind of process that they focus inside the functions, yeah? So the process of receive customer support requests, okay? And then make sure appropriate person address the request or give response to the request, yeah? Or they ask question or something, yeah? And manage the process of resolving requests. Okay, if maybe after the question, maybe they need to do some troubleshooting or something. So how to manage that request to make sure that it can be resolved, yeah, completely. Okay, so if you want to do the document, you can provide your document statement here. Okay, so in this example, they don't actually provide that, but because it depends on people kan. So domain statement is something that I created. So if you want to put in your domain statement here to help with your understanding, then it's good. Yeah, so you can put it here. All right, so here is the listed application, the existing application that is related to customer service system or part of system. Okay, so it actually listed out Amazon because Amazon also have this customer service subsystem. Yeah, so that's why they actually, although it's just part of Amazon, but it is something related to their functions, yeah, that they want to apply inside the app. Okay, and Zappos and Vanguard and Google, see? Okay, but they also provide some manual way of doing customer service. For example, here Target is actually a commercial shop kan. So for retailers, Target provide desks for customer service. Okay, so that is the manual way, not using any app. All right. So like Google here, they said, I think they have email or something. Okay. For Vanguard here, they use toll-free phone. Yeah, for customer service. So they have different ways to actually apply this customer service system. Yeah, so either it's manual or by phone or something, it still can be considered as part of existing how it can be applied, yeah, in our today's world. Yeah, okay, so this is things that you can actually create the same thing. Yeah, the same thing. Maybe the thing that you do, only part of the function is in this app, but there are other parts that you want to use inside your app also in this app. So take both app, but focus on that part only. Okay, make them as your reference, yeah, to get information. Okay, and then existing related documents, yeah. Like for example, how bad customer service can be solved. So maybe there are some advice in the document, so you can put that inside your app. or you can use it as guideline when you're creating the app. Okay, so that's why you have to find the documents. Yeah. It's not that I ask you to do something and you cannot see that it's inside. I mean, there's no sequence or something. It actually has their own purpose why you have to do that. Yeah, and if you don't want to do it in sequence, then you might not see, yeah, the why every previous steps is actually contributing to the next step. Yeah. Okay, vision and goals, business benefits. So you can put in your vision and goals here. Yeah, so this is for customer service, but you can have something similar like this, but you need to put in the goals, because they don't have the goals. Yeah, what goals to achieve with the app that you propose. Yeah, so you need to identify. I already explained about goals before this, right? So go and read the notes. Okay, and keyword, the important key terms that you use. Yeah, so what is actually customer support request? Yes, for you, it's very important if you can actually define what is your hobby application. Yeah, yeah, what is it actually? Because if you don't understand that, then you cannot you don't know what to write inside the definition. So you have to understand what are you doing, yeah, what project that you're doing. Okay, so in this customer service, they have um two different stakeholders here. We have requester here, they have just customer, any customer. Yeah, so requester is customer that actually wants that support. So customer is just customer, they whether they want support or not. Okay. So there are two types of stakeholders. See, even though they are both customer, they are actually customer. But the one who actually requests for some service, then it's called requester. They use different term for that. Okay, so the same thing with you is they have some function that they want to use, yeah, or there are certain part of function that they use, but there are others who use that part or different functions. So you have to name them differently for the stakeholders. You cannot just say user, or you cannot say just artist. Maybe there are specific terms for them. Yeah, depends on the role when they are using the function. For example, here they are requesting something, so you can name them as requester. All right. Okay, so here you can put in your context diagram. Yeah. All right. So from level 1, these are the question, the answers they get, so that they can actually complete all this. They can complete all this. Yeah. Because of these answers. Yeah. All right. So what is the scope of customer service? So these are the answers that they get. Who do you provide service to? So they get all the answers. Yeah. What type of customer service request that can be handled, so return, exchange. So basically this is just to make sure that you get some of the function, because this is level 1. So from here, what you need to do is to go and find the documents or system so that you can have longer lists. Okay, so for example, you have two stakeholders, right? Most of you have two stakeholders that you focus on for each of the type. For example, you have for the main stakeholder number 1, you have two different people answering your question, right? So what you can do is you can combine them, combine the answers and see if there are any similarities or not, or any important information from there. Okay, so this is how they get it. Yeah, so they actually get the answers for more than one person. It's actually more than, I think, more than 20 people. Yeah, so for you, because you just get person, then it's not working so much, but it's just the matter of the objective, because we want to have the slight idea what is actually the app that they want. Yeah, so if you get one or two is good enough. Yeah, if you can get one or two, good is good enough. But then you have to go and find from documents or existing system and try to list more. What are the functions that should be inside your app together with the app that mentioned by the features that mentioned by your stakeholders. Okay, so level 1 has to be completed until you can get the main functions that can be proposed in your app. Okay, and also what types of so these are actually more in-depth question. Yeah, so sometimes you don't get it from the customer, from the stakeholders, you can get from document as well. Yeah, so This is all related to the process itself. So you cannot ask the same question because you're not doing customer support service. You're doing something else. So but you have to create some question and maybe ask yourself what is exactly that you want to include inside the app. Okay. You have a slight idea from the stakeholders that you have interviewed, also doing survey. So you have some ideas from there. So discuss in your group, decide what kind of app that you want to do. Okay, so I leave it to you to decide. Yeah, but of course it should not be the commercial app. Yeah, just a simple app. Okay, so they have these answers from the beginning during level 1, and as you can see here, security is actually part of the quality. Yeah, and then we have something like macam ni, what days and time do you provide the support service 24/7? So this is quality. Yeah, and then how long it will take to give response. For example, they say that in 3 working days, so meaning that this is the restriction. Not maybe maybe they can give response in 2 days or 1 day, but usually in 3 working days. So that is the limitation, yeah, the restriction for the system to comply. Make sure that the response can be given to the requester as fast as they can within the 3 day working days. Yeah. So there are also extra information like except for payment issues may take 5 working days. So that is some of the constraint they have to consider inside the application as well. Okay. So you need um, to propose some functions or some behaviors of the system that can do something about that. For example, it's already 4 days, but the thing has not been resolved, or the request is not being given respond anything. So maybe the app can give some reminders to the person that actually answer the requester. So the other things that you can include as part of the functions of for the app. Okay.